Adventures of the Wishing Chair. Put on your glasses, Grandma. Chapter 6. It's called The Land of Dreams. Molly, Peter, come quickly. The chair is growing its wings again, whispered Chinky, peeping in at the dining room window. The children were busy drawing and painting, but at once they put away their things and scampered down the garden to their playroom. Goody, cried Peter, as he saw the red wings of the chair slowly flapping to and fro. Come on, everyone. Where shall we go this time? Well, let the chair take us where he wants to, said Chinky, sitting on top of the back as usual. Off we go. And mind you don't get worried if I fall off, Molly. Oh, I shan't worry any more, said Molly. You can look after yourself all right, Chinky. Off they went into the air. Where's the chair going, Chinky? Said Molly presently. I think it's going to the land of dreams, said Chinky. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Strange things happen there. Perhaps we'd better not go. Oh, do let's, said Peter. We'll be all right. Down to the land of dreams flew the chair and came to rest outside a small sweets shop. Peter felt in his pocket and found some money. I'll buy some toffee, he cried. He went into the shop and saw a large old sheep sitting there, knitting. He stared at her in surprise, and then he asked for some toffee. She gave him some in a bag, and then he ran out. He opened the bag and offered the toffees to the others. Do sheep serve in a shop? Do sheep knit? But when they tried to take some toffees out of the bag, they found it was full of green peas. How extraordinary. I told you strange things happened here, said Chinky. Come on, let's carry the chair in case it runs away or something. He turned to pick it up and gave a shout. It had turned into a little dog, and its red wings were now red ribbons around the dog's neck. I say, look at that. What are we going to do now? Said Chinky in dismay. They all stared at the dog, which wagged its tail hard. Suddenly there came an angry shout from behind them. Spot! Spot! Come here, sir! The children turned and saw a clown running down the road, calling to the dog. Quick, we must run off with the dog before the clown gets it, said Chinky. It may change back into a chair again at any moment. We can't let anyone else have it. Peter caught the surprised dog, and the three of them raced off the street at top speed. Stop! Thief! Shouted the clown. He ran after them. He caught them up, and he took hold of Chinky. To the children's amazement, the clown turned into a large, fat policeman. I arrest you for stealing a dog, said the policeman solemnly. Chinky stared at him in despair. But Molly called out loudly. What do you mean, policeman? We don't have any dog. And sure enough, the dog had changed into a yellow duck. There it was, under Chinky's arm, quacking for all it was worth. Quack, 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 quack. The policeman stared at it and looked very blue. And in a trice, he had changed into a blue motor van that trundled off down the street. I don't like this land, said Molly. Things are never the same 2 minutes running. Nor are they in dreams, said Chinky. You can't expect anything else here. I didn't want to come, you know. I say, won't one of you carry this duck? It's awfully heavy. Chinky handed it to Peter, a great yellow bird. But even as Peter took it, it happened. The bird's beak, legs and tail disappeared, and all that was left was a great pile of yellow stuff that slithered out of Peter's hands. "Oh," he cried, "it's ice cream! It's cold! I can't hold it!" You must," shouted Chinky, and he and Molly did their best to hold the slippery mass together. But it was no good. It slithered to the ground and began to melt. "There goes our chair," said Chinky sorrowfully. "It looks like we're here forever now." First it turned into a doll, then into a duck, and now into ice cream. "This is a horrid adventure." They left the melting ice cream and went on down the street. Peter took out his bag of green peas and looked at them again. They had turned into tiny balloons, ready to be blown up. He gave one to Chinky and one to Molly. They began to blow them up, but oh dear, instead of blowing up balloons, they blew themselves up. Yes, they really did. Peter stared in dismay, but he couldn't stop them. There they were, Molly and Chinky, two big balloons swaying in the air, and they even had strings tied to them. Peter was afraid they might blow away, so he took hold of the strings. He wandered down the street alone, very puzzled and unhappy. Nothing seemed real. The land of dreams was very peculiar indeed. The two enormous balloons floated along behind him, and when he turned to look at them, what a shock he had. They were not in the least like Chinky and Molly anymore. One was green and one was blue. And even as Peter stared at them, the air began to escape from each balloon. They were growing rapidly, smaller and smaller and smaller. And soon they were just tiny lumps of coloured rubber hanging from the string. Peter looked at them sadly. "All that's left of Molly and Chinky," he thought unhappily, "and no wishing chair either. Only me. Oh dear. Whatever will be the end of this strange adventure?" He put the balloons in his pocket and went on. He came to a large hall where a concert seemed to be going on. He slipped inside and sat down on a chair. He suddenly felt very tired indeed. He shut his eyes and yawned. The chair began to rock softly. Peter opened his eyes and saw it had changed into a rocking horse. But things no longer astonished him in the land of dreams. It would be surprising if peculiar things didn't happen, not if they did. Soon he was fast asleep on the rocking horse. It rose up into the air and flew out of the door. Peter slept on. He didn't wake up till hours afterwards, and when at last he opened his eyes, what a surprise! He was in the playroom at home, lying on the rug by the window. He sat up at once and remembered everything. Sorrowfully, he put his hands into his pockets and pulled out the two air balloons. "Molly and Chinky," he said sadly. "Yes, do you want us?" said Molly's voice. And to his astonishment and delight, he saw both Molly and Chinky sitting in the wishing chair nearby, both yawning and just waking up from a sleep. "Oh," he said, "I must have dreamt it all then. Listen, you two. I had such a funny dream. I went to the land of dreams and—" Yes, said Chinky impatiently. "We've all been there. It's a real adventure. I don't want to go there again. Oh, it was a horrid feeling turning into a balloon. It was a good thing you put them in your pocket. Was it a real adventure then? Cried Peter in amazement. As real as adventures ever are in the land of dreams, said Chinky. Now what about some real toffee that won't turn into green peas or balloons? Get some treacle from the kitchen, Molly. We'll make some. We deserve a treat after that horrid adventure. And that's the end of that chapter. I wonder if you can go to a place of the land of dreams where things change. I'm glad while he was asleep they somehow flew back home. That's all. Come back for the next chapter. Bye-bye.